Hello everyone, I'm back. On Instagram poll, y'all wanted me to post how I edit on just Lightroom, so here it is. The first thing I'm going to do is select one of the presets I've already made. I'm going to walk you through what my preset entails. To start off, the white balance starts off as shot, and I just adjusted it to 500 temperature and 5 plus tint. And then the exposure I adjust to plus 30 and I leave the rest as it is, which is plus 10 contrast, highlights at minus 75, shadows at plus 25, whites at minus 30, blacks at plus 20, and then the texture at plus 10 and saturation at minus 25. And then I open tone curve. Usually I keep the highlights at minus 20, darks at plus 20, and shadows at minus 10. Split toning, I usually do my highlights hue at 50 and saturation for that at 8, and then the shadows hue at 40 and saturation for that at 5. Moving on to details, I like to keep the image sharpened at 35, and then under noise reduction I make sure to bring it up to 25 to smoothen out the image but still keeping it sharp. For lens correction, I actually use this feature quite a bit. I enabled profile correction and chose the make and model, and then I bring the distortion to 50 and vignette to 100. And then I go to effects, and I like to keep the vignette here at minus 5 and midpoint at about 28. Then it's time to play with the colors. I go to the HSL colors and go to hue to start off. I tend to change up the colors a lot depending on the type of mood I want for the image. As you can see, I'm going back and forth with the hues, and then saturation. I want the attention on Jaskiran more, so I make the greens and aquas and blues very low. And lastly, the luminance, I make the yellow to minus 100 and the greens low to minus 50. Again, for the same reason that I want Jaskiran to be center of attention. Now I move on to the adjustment brush, and I'm using the dodge setting 0.25 over her face and body where I want it to be brighter. Now I'm going to go in to smoothen out her skin, and what I like to do to keep it natural is I put it on minus 35 texture and minus 15 clarity. I'm going back in with the burn tool at minus 0.3, and I go over her nose because it's just a bit bright for my liking. Now to show you comparisons to why I like the skin smoothing settings that I already used. I have other skin smoothing sets that I've already made, brushes I've already made, but I rarely use them as they're quite heavy and noticeable. So that's why I like the settings I've already had, the minus 35 texture and the minus 15 clarity. I once again select the dodge setting at 0.25 and go over her eyelids and the side of her face as it's underexposed. I also bring up the shadows by 20. Then I realize a gem is missing from her face, so I use the clone brush and add one into the empty spot. And then I center the image and crop it in. The last step I like to do is add a bit of yellow to replicate the sun peeking in. The setting I like to use is 34 temperature, exposure at 1.67, the clarity at minus 40, and dehaze at minus 40 as well. And the color I choose is a yellowy color from the selection. And then I go in with the eraser and remove the sun from her face so it's just in the background. I always like to compare the image to the original, as well as on a white backdrop and a black backdrop, just to see if the colors all look fine and that the image is exposed well. And here it is. Hope you guys liked my video and the edits that I've made. And if you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time, guys.